Hey, Strategy Simplified. My name is Katie. I am a Black Belt alum, and I spent 3 years at BCG in the Middle East. I am now here as part of Management Consultants team to help you figure out what products we offer will help you on your consulting journey. And I also advise Black Belt members and Super Prep members once they become a part of our community so that they get the most out of what we offer. If you would like to book a 15-minute call with me, you can click the link in the show notes, and I look forward to meeting you.
In today's episode, we're going to talk about why engineers make great and also sometimes terrible consultants, and how, if you're an engineer, you should think about breaking in, why you should think about breaking in, and what to do specifically. I'm Jenny Ray LaRue, the CEO of Management Consulted, and we're super excited to dive in. But before we do, can you please make sure that you hit subscribe on this episode? And if you're watching on YouTube, can you also hit the notification bell, because we put out time-sensitive content like job opportunities and application deadlines, and we don't want you to miss a thing. We're super excited to have you. Let's dive in. So we're getting a lot of questions from engineers and people with other heavy analytical degrees that have basically no business experience, asking whether they can make the leap into consulting. And I have one super simple answer for you. Yes, you can. Yes, you should. So let's dive into the kind of principles of why this matters. I'm Jenny Ray LaRue, the Managing Director of Management Consulted, and I worked at Bain & Company in the Atlanta office. And one of the things that I found super fascinating when I was there was the saying that we had, which was that engineers make the best and the worst consultants. Now, part of why we test for what you could do as an engineer depends on what we think as you're headed in. So I saw some engineers that were incredibly proficient at data analysis and had the ability to work, whether it was quietly or loudly, with a team to really develop change and then to drive that change inside an organization, usually using analytics first. So some people used personal connection first and then they backed it up with analytics, but the engineers led with analytics. And some of the biggest insights I ever saw, some of the business insights that I still refer to today when I'm teaching, came from the engineers on our teams and their analytics insight. Here's the rub. Often as an analyst, which is usually the first job that you get in consulting, you're phenomenal, which is why if you're an engineer and you're thinking about breaking in, the firms want you and you are a desirable candidate. But they're looking for something a little bit more than a great analyst. In fact, many people could be great analysts, but not everybody could be a great analyst and a future great manager. And this is where I saw some of the engineers really fall apart. When we asked them not to crunch for 70 hours a week on data, but rather to develop work plans and support people through the crunch process in a completely different role as a manager, a lot of them fell apart. And it was the least fun for me out of the 11 projects that I worked on. The 2 that I worked on where engineers were in charge were the least fun of that process. So I would really encourage our engineers that are in our community to think about consulting as an active career, to recognize that your skills are valued and seen there, but also to recognize that just having an engineering ability is not enough. You need to be an engineer plus, and you need to be that for 2 reasons. One, because I want to know that you're going to like my job. I don't know if you're going to like it if I've seen you never do anything similar to it. So I want to see a case competition. I want to see an internship with an incubator. I want to see you work for a technology transfer office. I want to have you bridge some of your tech background and your engineering background and your mechanical background and your analytical background with real world business insight, which, as you're going to find, often has lower quality data and less dramatic analytics, but incredibly profound insights. And you have to be able to jump the shark on that. I also would love to see you do case competitions. I'd love to see you demonstrate that you can communicate, maybe by participating in clubs or on-campus activities that go beyond your experience. And if you're in the workplace, I'd love to see you active in your community as well. So some of those are additional things that you can show me. But I also would love to see you have actual work experience where you're working with and ideally even managing people. This is where sometimes consulting clubs can be phenomenal because because you don't only get the opportunity to be an analyst, but you can get promoted through a consulting club to that manager role. And you can demonstrate to me early on that you're great at leading people, which helps me know not only would you be an amazing hire today, but you may be the next rock star managing director of our office in the future. And having the combo is truly, truly the triple threat. So anyhow, I'm really excited for those of you that are thinking about this. I hope that this episode really walks you through the process of how to think about your skills and why you are valued, but why there's an asterisk on it. And I hope it also gives you a really tactical work plan to know how to fill in your gaps and how to get ready. If you've got good experience, but you need a great resume, we can help with resumes. If you don't have great experience, we can help you with the great experience and resumes. If you don't have anything and you want help with the whole process, we can help with resumes, with great experience, and with the case interview. And if you already have a case interview, we can help you specifically with that. So if you're excited about breaking into consulting and corporate strategy, about taking your passion for problem solving into a real world context and making a difference and moving away from the technical parts of an organization into the strategic and management parts, we would super duper love to help. Thanks so much for listening.